Money. As dancers, let's say that money isn't always the motivation that we strive towards. Often we are more driven by passion, a strong desire to be better at our art, and a determination to find the best version of ourselves. Yet still, money is essential to being able to take care of our necessary needs as dancers, and learning how to use it wisely is a necessary skill for every human being living in today's economy. In this video, I will explore the relationship and journey I've been on, learning how to use my money to fuel and drive me closer to my dreams. Hey, it doesn't quite have the same technical black and white rules as ballet technique, but I guess in some ways you need to find a certain rhythm with it. The ebbs and flows, the impulse buys and unexpected costs, the crescendos and the plateaus all nicely spread in the web of an Excel spreadsheet. This is what I spend in a week. So at the end of the day on Monday, I did a big shop in my local Tesco just to grab all the bits and bobs because I normally do a big batch cooking session, usually every 2 to 3 weeks, and I cook a load of mincemeat and then portion it and put it in the freezer, and that kind of suffices me for 2 or 3 weeks. So this was the particular day that I did that, hence why the cost of the shopping was way more than other days. I had some friends round on that Monday and I fed them all as well, so it was a little bit more of an expensive evening, an expensive meal, but so worth it, because honestly spending time with friends is always worth the investment. If you are new around here, my name is Hannah Martin. And this is what I spend in a week as a professional dancer. I'm currently rehabbing at the moment, so it's not necessarily a completely normal week. Let's say if I was fully dancing and everything, things might look a tiny bit different, but I just thought I'd do this anyway because I've wanted to do this video in a while. Why not start it here, doing an intro? This used to be a pool area where you used to rehab in the pool, but unfortunately the pool broke and they never fixed it, which is really sad. But this is now where all the cardio and the bikes are. I wouldn't say I'm a huge spender. I mean, last weekend, if you saw my last vlog, I spent a lot because I was investing in film equipment, but actually that was really difficult for me. I think, especially growing up in not the most well-off family, which I'm actually really grateful for because it makes you grateful for anything you do get. You don't take anything for granted. I think it makes you a little bit more apprehensive with your money. And it's actually taken me quite a few years to realize on my days, I need that and I should get it because I need it. That is something I'm grateful for now in my life, that I'm able, when I need something, to be able to get it. And I have also the freedom, not just financially, but also mentally. I'm still careful with my money. Normally my rule of thumb is the fact that I spend 1 week after I think about an item. If it's something more like a bag or a jumper, if I see it in the shop, I'll be like, I've twigged that. If I know I can come back to the shop, I'll leave it. If I'm still thinking about it, really 7 days later, then I'll purchase the item, but only then. But if it's not a necessary item, if I'm still thinking about it, generally impulse purchases happen because you buy it right then, right there. But if you are still thinking about it a few days later, it means that you generally actually want it. It's not just an impulse buy. So that's how I do things. I need to finish off this session, and I hope the sound quality isn't too bad on here. We'll find out. Last week, I remember spending a lot of money on ice, but this week I've been a bit better and I got a load of ice from the Jerwood, which at work we have ice. It's quite heavy to carry back, but today I've got 2 sets of ice with me, which should be enough. But when I was icing 4 or 5 times a day, then I had to buy ice downstairs. I'm sure I probably spent at least 20, 30 quid on ice last week. Today I haven't had to do that, which is good. On a little side note, today is a really exciting day because I've been walking around the house and there's been a few times where I'm like, oh, I must be careful my ankle. Which one is it? And that thought of not knowing which ankle has had the operation is a new sensation for me and I am here for it. I'm about to do my full body flexibility program. I usually do it most mornings when I'm feeling good to kind of get my body stretched and ready to go for the day. You guys can also do the flexibility program too. I have linked it down below in the description if you guys want to check it out. I love Kulapoki so much. They are the nicest people and make the most amazing food. It's finally the end of what has been a very long and hard week. I am heading to a cafe with my friends. That's something I do like to spend my money on. And also today I am trialing my first video editors, which does cost, but hopefully it means I can make more content for you guys. And yeah, like, I'm sure if the content changes up, you know why. I'm actually super excited about it. They all seem like great people and I can't wait to see who's gonna work with me best. I am off to meet my friend. We are going for, I don't know if luncharoo or just a little walkie around the Boring. I'm not training today, which I can already feel. I get like a bit agitated when I don't, but it is a beautiful day. It's actually quite warm. And I also have my Teddy Blake handbag, which I never really get to use because there's not really much use for it when you're just walking to the gym and back. So I will link my Teddy Blake handbag down below if you guys want to grab it. Grab one yourself, because when I wear it, it feels special, you know, because it feels like an occasion. So I'm seeing my friend. She's very good and very aesthetic and very good at dressing up, so I needed to play the part too. So going to cafes and having coffees, I mean, I don't really like coffee, but having a drink or a meal with friends is something that's really important and something I will invest my money and time in because I really enjoy it. And afterwards I come away feeling refreshed. So I think when it comes to money, I'm always thinking, what are my best investments? Before I struggled to kind of invest in things I enjoy, but now I realize actually investing in things that you enjoy is essential to having a fulfilled and full and balanced life, if you do have obviously the means to do so. That evening I also called my previous flatmate Reagan. Some of you have been asking on the channel how she's doing. She's doing good. I'm actually gonna fly and see her. We were trying to book flights that evening, but we're having a little bit of trouble, to be quite honest with you. So I was actually gonna have to include the flight fare on this week in the life, but none of my payments actually went through. So lucky me, I don't have to reveal how much I broke the bank, but I'm so excited to see Reagan and it's gonna be so worth it. I really did not get the memo on the weather today. What is going on with this weather? I just don't know.
Oh my god! The same! Woo! That is so good! Yeah! Okay guys, I have totted up all the costs and stuff for the whole week, and I just kind of wanted to run you through some of the like overall costs, ones I didn't mention. Obviously you have rent, you have electricity, you have council tax, the list goes on and on and on. And I feel like, I remember when I was a student, no one tells you these things, and you become an adult and you're like, wow. I remember my first month at the company, I was just paranoid. I wasn't paying a bill I was supposed to, because the council tax don't tell you that you're not paying it until you get a letter in the mail for a court order. So like I was a bit freaked out by all of that when I first moved out. So I'm gonna run you through kind of my general living costs. It's gonna change soon because I'm actually moving next month, which is crazy. Only just found that out yesterday. Life is just moving at a pace at the moment, I have to tell you. It's moving at a pace but not moving at all. But that is for the rehab vlog. Go and watch that journey elsewhere. Obviously I'm not dancing at the moment because I'm recovering from an injury, so that will reflect in some of the costs that you're seeing. It's not maybe the same as what I would do if I was in a normal week of shows and stuff. So I will do another one of these when I'm in a show week, and that will be really interesting to kind of see how that changes and affects my spending. I've also been spending a little bit more because I'm investing in my business. I'm investing a lot of money in what I do here on YouTube, in my social media, in equipment, in editors. So that's new as well. That's not usually something I spend money on. I've decided just to give it a go in this time when I've got a little bit more time to invest in investing, if that makes sense. So my total like living expenses, like the house, the, you know, maybe is that the Wi-Fi and stuff? Yes, the Wi-Fi, all of that sort of thing comes to a total of £221.68 a week. So that's like my total like living expenses, so I can live and breathe in this building. That's actually not too bad for Birmingham, to be quite honest with you. I mean, in London, the prices are so extreme, but I also know how lucky I am to be able to afford to live where I am currently living. I'm feel very, very lucky and I love living here. Gladly, when I'm moving, I'm staying in the same place. I'm just moving into a 1-bed flat. So yeah, I'm very glad to be staying here. So that's also got all the electricity bill, the water bill, all of that. Like my total entertainment expenses, I'm subscribed to a tennis podcast because that one can go. I did cancel the subscription for a while, but then I rejoined. I also have Netflix. So my total entertainment expenses, I put it under that window, is £6.54 a week. So we've got business expenses, and my total business expenses come to £59.85, with £2.50 this particular week for the post office that I had to send back an item that didn't work, some of the tech that I bought the week before. This was a particular high week because I had hired a few editors for the first time, but also I invest in some different software now. So like Descript, I've got some domain names that I'm currently paying for. There's an email list service that I have to pay for. So those are business expenses that are kind of scary to me because I've never really had them before, but they're kind of going to be essential for me growing, I hope. Let me know what you think about the edit on this video because one of my editors is actually doing this today. I'm very excited to see how it will turn out. But yeah, so my business expenses is definitely, that is moving and shifting and probably going to increase a little bit while I discover what's going to work best in my workflow. Then we go on to travel expenses for this particular week, and the travel expenses were £5.91 for that Uber right at the beginning of the week to take some stuff to the charity store. I had a lot of stuff because I had done a clear out when I did my transformation in this room. If you want to go watch that transformation, the link will be in the description. I also bought a load of medicines and supplements, which again, you use over the course of a month. I spent a lot on that particular week because it was also for a particular video I was doing. So again, it was a bit of a business expense. So it came out this particular week, £47.39, but it will probably be around £11.80 a week, roughly, because the supplements you can kind of even out over the course of many days. And on this particular week, my eating out expenses was £41.62, and I do enjoy eating out. That is because, you know, I'm a single person here in Birmingham. Going out with friends is important, and doing that over a cup of coffee, doing that over like a nice meal is something it's like the thing I would choose to do to be social. So I do invest in that. Actually, this particular week, I probably didn't do as much. You know what, like, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I will have it occasionally. You go to like some places and they, like, I've seen, now that I totted up all of the expenses, like £4.50 for a Diet Coke, £4.50 or whatever for like a turmeric latte or something, or whatever I had the other day. That's a lot of money. It's like a bit of milk with a little bit of sugar and like, let's put like some yellow flavoring in it to make it look pretty. I don't know. It's obviously the experience and the atmosphere that you're paying for. But I was like, wow, like coffee is expensive. I am glad I'm not a regular coffee drinker. Otherwise, I would have no money. Something that I didn't show much in this particular week was I do go to Pilates, Reformer Pilates, and I also have treatment outside the company. So sometimes that can tot up with a few expenses as well. Here I have an average of about £41 a week for that. That's quite high. I don't feel like I spend that much, but recently because I've been injured, I've been spending more. Normally when I'm fully fit, I don't really go see that many people outside the company, maybe Reformer Pilates a few times, but that will be just generally 1 or 2 times a month. So right now that expense is also quite a bit higher than usual. And then something I'm not going to mention in the overall total, and I'm not going to say necessarily how much or whatever, but I do tithe every month. So that is something else I do. That is an outgoing from my bank. But that's just between me and God. But that is another, I don't want to call it an expense. It's not an expense because all my money is his anyway, but it's just something to keep in mind. This week's particular spend overall came to £599.92. It was definitely an expensive week because I was investing in new editors and buying new supplements. I also do that big batch cooking right at the beginning of the week, which is that's like my big shop, and that food will get me through 2 or 3 weeks of dinners and stuff because I freeze it all. I'm like still eating some of the stuff that I froze in this video, and now it's like 2 or 3 weeks since I filmed that. So yeah, I think this was a really good exercise for me because it just showed me like, where am I spending? Where is a lot of my money going to? And am I happy with that? And I think doing that exercise for yourself is actually really good. It was also good to see actually like, am I able to save enough or save at all living this kind of lifestyle? If yes, great. If no, what changes can I make to actually be in a profit, not in a deficit? But right now, where my business is at, I'm like quite comfortable with being in a very slight deficit to kind of push it forwards and experiment with things, because I've never really pushed the boat with this. So this is like the first time me stepping out of my comfort zone. And you always need to do that at some point in your life. My average week of spending, so there was a few weird expenses in this particular week. My average week is what I've calculated here. I don't know how I calculated it because I did it at 5 a.m. this morning, so who knows. Is about £514.33. Don't ask me how I got to that number, but that is the number that I have found. Before I finish the video, I want to talk a little bit about expenses that you might have expected to see in this video, and also ones that I had as a student, but not so much now. The very first one I'm going to talk about is point shoes. I get questions all the time. Do you get given point shoes from your company? The answer is yes. I've been having a bit of a supply and demand issue recently, but since I've been injured, that's actually been solved because I haven't been wearing my point shoes. I get specially designed point shoes. They have a heel pin, 2.5 DV wing, 5.5, Star Maker, XXX. Sounds like speaking a different language. But as a student, we used to have to buy these. They're like £50 to £100 a pop, so they are not cheap. Also, if you're buying Freeds, you will go through them in 2 or 3 days. So then you have to buy jet glue, and jet glue is like 20 quid. Point shoes in general are an expensive business. I still buy jet glue. Obviously, I haven't been buying that now, but that is an expense that would be in a normal week for me. Another expense that I'm very happy to talk about actually is leotards. So obviously leotards are not covered by the company. We obviously get our costumes are all provided by the company, but our leotards are not, and we wear our leotards every day. It's almost like our work clothes. So leotards are something I will invest in. I think they really change the way that you feel about yourself in a rehearsal, especially if you want to perform well. Wearing a leotard that you feel really good in is super important for me as an artist, because you're almost like placing on a character, and different leotards have different characters in my opinion. And that leads me to talk about Sonnet Dance. Now, Sonnet Dance the other day sent me the hugest haul. I am so excited. You can see the clips on the screen. They have all sorts of really, really sophisticated designs. I particularly like this like blue one with a cat on it, and then it had this one with just kind of very neutral colors. I mean, I picked the more neutral colors because that's what I like. I think it kind of gives a very sophisticated vibe, which I'm going for, very classical. But it also got this beautiful skirt, lots of beautiful skirts. They actually sent me in leg warmers, and this top, which kind of gives that very ballet-esque vibe. I will link Sonnet Dance in the description down below if you guys want to check it out, because I honestly think that their leotards are some of my favorites in my collection. If you've seen my leotard collection, they are one of my favorites, and they are something I will invest money in because of how it helps to aid my work. Anything that can help aid my work, like treatment, like even outsourcing editors, I've been doing to take less stress off of me so I can do my work better. So leotards is definitely worth the investment if, you know, ballet is your full-time job, even if it's not. I find that leotards, I've never regretted getting a nice leotard, to be quite honest with you. I'm careful with my money. I don't go and spend like thousands of pounds on leotards, but I will invest like a good few hundred on a leotard that really makes me feel special, because then that reflects a bit my dancing as well. Do check out Sonnet Dance. I will link them down in the description box below. So guys, that is what I spent in a week. Let me know your thoughts. Did you think it was going to be more or less? I am so excited to share this journey with you, and obviously my expenses are about to change because I'm about to move. But it was really good to actually to see my breakdown of expenses to see if I can afford the next place I'm going to move into. So this was actually a really great exercise for me, and I actually recommend doing it for yourself. So let me know if you do this exercise yourself. It's really quite revealing. But yeah, let me know if you've done it. That's all from me today. Remember, dream big and make it happen.